Stan no got a number again, no? He says, huh? You laugh.
We're live. Hello and welcome to Follow We Will Legends podcast, episode 4. And as you can see, I'm not Lynsey, and I'm also not Stan Gordon. Unfortunately, they've been stuck in traffic, but we had to keep the show going.
It's mayhem out there.
It's mayhem. And
but two professionals like us, we get here in time. We get here a little bit earlier. You know, that's called professionalism.
I know. Do you know? You weren't even ready to come on yet. I was still to welcome my guest,
and I'm yapping away.
I know. So you've just
it's off the cuff the night, isn't it?
You've ruined it. I've not even had a chance to thank the sponsors or anything.
Oh, let's talk about the sponsors.
So the main sponsor is Avia Signs. From concept to completion, developing, manufacturing and installing quality signage throughout the UK with clients like Glasgow Rangers and Castor. That's just to name a few. But you can visit the website at aviasigns.com. We'll also go through there's loads of other sponsors, but I'll let Lynsey do that when she finally comes in. But Derek,
no. Hopefully she's coming in to sing. Surely.
How good would that if we could get her to sing a wee song?
We'll just get her to sing a wee couple of songs
tonight.
That would die. How good would that be?
Well, how good?
I've watched a couple of shows. Watched Durante, Big Mark Haley. Lynsey's been sitting there, and I thought she would burst into song. There's a wee rendition. I thought, a wee bit of follow. Many times
we've seen her down in Blackpool this year.
Oh, by the way, and she's brilliant. And she's top drawer.
Amazing. Do you know? And I can hear the doorbell ringing already.
So that big Stanley?
That'll be a big Stanley. But you know, let's talk a wee bit about yourself, because I've not seen you since.
No, I don't want to talk about myself. Let's talk about.
In fact, I was about to say I've not seen you since
yesterday.
It was no. In fact, we were down in Blackpool, me, you, and Big DJ.
Brilliant.
That was an experience for me because it's
Colin Steen, Willie Johnson.
That one as well. I forgot about that.
That was absolutely top drawer. I love being in amongst the real legends.
Do you know what I found quite funny? I met you in the Gallant Pioneer at first, and a wee bud came up to me and was like, Ricky, I've not put the lottery on yet. And I'm like, I said, Big DJ and Colin put the lottery on every week, and I've not done it. And I was like, right, tell us your numbers and I'll jump out and get it. You know. So I got a text the next day because I ended up just putting it on my phone. We'd won, but it wouldn't tell me how much we'd won. Right. You know, but it turns out it was just a lucky dip. But I text Big DJ saying, listen, we've won the lottery, but I don't know how much. So
magical.
I'm going to need to go and let the guys in. So why don't you just talk for a few minutes? In fact, why don't you talk about yesterday's game?
I will talk about yesterday's.
I don't know why I'm giving you that paper, because there's nothing about yesterday's game on that.
Nothing on this paper. You better run downstairs.
Right, I'll let them in. All right, and sorry again for the inconvenience, but it's just mayhem out there. There's been a bad accident in Glasgow.
I'm just what I've got here is questions that are going to be
asked to you.
Aye. So I better turn that away.
I turn that away. Aye.
Right. A surprise,
and you've probably seen that another mystery guest we've got later as well. So that's ruined that surprise, or not?
By the way, the mystery guest is
good. Right, I'm going to go and get them. All right.
Aye, cool. Because the mystery guest is a guy that I grew up with. Known him since I was 11 years old. When we used to go in and train at the Old Albion. Normally it was a Tuesday night. Coaches. You know, hi Stan. Stan just come in. The coaches were John Gregg, Tommy McLean, Big Tam Forsyth. I mean, absolutely brilliant. You know, and the surprise guest that will be coming on, as I say, is we were coached with these guys, so quite surreal. I don't think things like that will ever happen again. You know, you're out of breath, big fella. You okay?
I run out a hill there, sorry.
Right. A hill?
Aye.
Glen?
Believe it or not, with the traffic lights saying they weren't moving. So.
Listen, I know it's mental out there.
I get out Trish's car and I just ran.
Compose yourself.
I know.
It's all right, Ricky was in total control there.
Oh,
so he was. What, you done a wee bit of the sponsor? You read that? Aye, happy days.
Oh, brilliant. Sorry about that, folks. Hey, wee Barra. Good to see you on the show.
Good to see you.
How you been?
Very well. Yes. Apart from, I was just talking about it, we were doing in Blackpool a couple of weeks ago, a Gallant Pioneer, and what a weekend it was. What made it for me, we're just talking about him, was Colin Steen, Willie Johnson, make sure you get the lottery on, Big DJ, you know. Again, it was lovely to meet Stuart McCall as well. No saw Stuart since the last time, where did I meet, where was I with Stuart? That was in Dubai. We went out to play it was a kind of legends game. It was at 6-7 aside. Stuart, he was your manager, so he was in. So it was lovely to see him again.
I thought we were talking about it there, weren't we, a couple of weeks ago there, and I thoroughly enjoyed it too. But I found it hard because there were 9 players there, and I was interviewing 3, and 3 sat down, another 3 came up, and then they sat down and we got another 3. But no, it was a great night and it went well, didn't it?
So I get a buzz out of that. I always get a buzz out of listening to the other guys. I know I've got to do my wee bit, which I don't mind one bit at all, but I just love listening to the older guys. I love listening
Oh,
to
brilliant. Brilliant. We had Derek Johnson on 2 weeks ago, and that's what we're kind of talking about to Derek Johnson. Had the privilege of sitting with the four of them in London, Fergie, right? And it was a couple of beers, and just the four of them. And
no, Steenie with red wine.
No, I believe it or not, a couple of pints to start with, which I was surprised at myself. So with a couple of beers and just a blare before the gig, as you know, went back and get changed and all that. You don't want to drink too much, and just the stories they were telling, you couldn't buy it. Honestly, it was.
I just love being in their presence. I honestly, and I'm not going to say it on here. The wee story about when we were doing in London last time, Steenie getting into the taxi.
Oh, tell him.
No, you tell it far better than me. It's just because I was saying to Steenie earlier on in the day about how my dad absolutely idolised Colin Steen.
Yeah,
so,
no, myself, but many players were doing that, David. About 7 or 8 players, didn't we? And it was then Victor Loyal used to do the thing every year. I would take 6 or 7 players down, and what they done, what I thought was quite unique, was you put a Rangers player at every table at the dinner. So you hosted the table, and then it was your boy Alvin Martin. If you remember, for West Ham in England, a big superstar down there.
I don't think Colin Steen knew who he was.
So we went down there and we done the gig, and the goalie was sitting beside Colin Steen, if you remember, before the gig, and he was filling his glass up with red wine every time he looked away. So Colin was a wee bit worse for wear. So we go into the flare, and Alvin Martin was going down interviewing everybody one at a time, wasn't he?
And I was standing beside big Colin Steen, and I could hear him, what he was saying. He kept going, "Who the is that?"
Aye. He said, "Who is he? Who is he?" He said, that's Alvin Martin that played for West Ham in England. And he went,
I don't think he was as polite as that.
No, well, he wasn't. No. He says, "With England and West Ham, did I play against him?" And I said, "Well, you maybe played against him, Steenie, when you were with Coventry." "I can't mind him." "Who is he?" "Alvin Martin." And just as that Alvin Martin got to him in the mic, didn't he? And he grabbed the mic off him. He went, "Who are you?" And the next thing, the full place started singing, "Who are you?" Alvin Martin. And he was, and I remember Bomber saying to me, "Don't bring him back, Stan. He'll be." So what had happened is, after it, we were getting a taxi back to the hotel to get changed.
You're trying to look after them.
And somebody came out and says, "There's a wee favour. We used to take Bud and Steenie back. He's in the taxi. They're not getting back out again and get the two of them home. Look after him." And you says, "Aye." And you said, "I love Big Steenie. That's my dad's hero." And the next thing, the taxi opened, didn't it? And 2 horns came in.
He crawled in.
And he crawled in his knees and he kicked my case. "Who's that?" I looked out the window and said, "Oh, it's no me."
And his lips were pure red.
Oh, brilliant.
Red wine, all around.
Brilliant. Oh, fantastic.
What a man.
But get into your own wee bit of your career here, Fergie. I've come in.
I thought we were going to talk about the game.
No, we will be.
Yesterday.
Where are we?
Good start, isn't it, for Gio?
Oh, definitely.
Aye. Magic.
Well, 15-year-old made your debut, and the twos were friendly with him. Big Tam Forsyth testimonial was your first game. And I think you still had the record as the youngest boy to make a debut for Glasgow Rangers. Would that be right?
I think it is, Stan, still to this day. But the game you're talking about, it was against Swansea. I get told, it was a Sunday, that game. I get told I had to come in and basically do the strips, lay them out, get the guys their cups of tea. Anything the players needed, I was to do that, get them what they wanted. And next thing, John Gregg, it just said to us out of the blue, he just went like that. He says, "Listen, that's a strip for you down the corner." He says, "When you get that on, I'm going to put you in the bench, and what you can do is go out and sample the atmosphere, before the game and at half time, because at half time the subs were always out in the park kicking about." So I was like, "You're a dancer. That's brilliant, by the way." So I'm going to be warming up with the boys, before the game. I'll get a wee kick at the ball in front of a massive crowd at half time. What a buzz. And then it was I think it was about 20 minutes to go, 25 minutes to go. I remember Big Tam, just looking down and just going like that. "Right, you're going on, wee man." And I was like, and I looked at the gaffer, Greggy, and he's like, aye, you're going on. I couldn't believe it. Because all my pals were probably at the game. Fairnot High School. You know, what was I? was still at 4th year at that time, 15-year-old. So to get the last 20 minutes.
Oh, amazing. Amazing.
And then, I mean, playing with guys, and I'm talking about these guys that I grew up watching, and then the next thing, they're sharing the same dressing room, that day sharing the bench, but then you go into the park with them, Stan. You know, so my memory isn't great, but I remember that day. So, and, you know, I've got a lot to thank John Grigg, you know, because not just for that, giving me that opportunity, but gave me my first professional contract with Rangers, signing that as a 16-year-old. And that's all you wanted as a young boy, that opportunity to sign with Rangers. And I was one of the lucky ones, along with quite a few at that time, because it was Shuggy Burns, it was Dave McFarlane, Flecky was there, obviously Durante came into the fray, Big Scott Nisbet, you know, who I'd grew up with. That's what I was just talking about when they were opening the door for you. I was just talking about Big Nizzy, because I've known, everybody thinks it's, I've known Ian Durant since I was 16, and obviously great pals. But I've known Nizzy longer, and I absolutely love the big fella.
What was the big one like in the dressing room?
Just daft. Just just a big daft Edinburgh laddie. But the thing I loved about Nizzy, although he was daft, you know, he could play, and he had an edge to him. You know, he could take Nizzy so far, you know, and wind him up and get the miss out of him, and then he got to a stage or a point where just flipped. I know that Ricky and that and Graham was up and done a show the other night, but the one thing I remember, the gaffer Graham Souness was giving Nizzy a bit of stick after training. Something, I was sitting beside him, and he kept at him, looking for a reaction. And I remember the big fella, he flipped. He just went.
Listen, before you go any further,
do you want to know how daft? Well, I don't know. I want to know how daft it could be, because we offered him a square go. I was like, are you mad? Offered Graham Souness a square go. That's just how daft he is.
Well, listen, Fergie, we've got a wee surprise for you tonight, and I know he's been through a hard time in the last year and a half or so. But believe it or not, wee man, we've got him on the show.
You're right, Fergie.
What, is he in the dancing?
How do you, mate? All right?
I'm very well. How are you, Nizzy boy?
No, I'm still here. I'm still alive.
Any chance you can turn the lights on? I can't see you. Or is it that tan?
It's sun tan.
Permanent tan, isn't
it? I can't believe it's only 23 degrees over here at the moment. Know what I mean?
Oh, hey.
You look as if you're varnishing yourself. Look at you. You're a big shiny.
So, who sings with you now, Biggin?
I was in hospital. I was in hospital on Friday. I was getting a CT scan, blood, and ultrasound, and I get the results next Friday. So I won't know to see what's happening at the moment. But at the moment, I'm still at stage 4 with cancer. But so far, so good. I'm still here, still laughing and joking. You know what I mean? So that's it. So what Fergie told you about Souness. That's true. I was only offered him a square goal. You know what I mean?
Can't bought you.
And are you still doing the boys' football earlier, Nizzy?
Yeah, I've still got the soccer school. I started back in October for the first time in 21 months. That was the first time I'd done the soccer school because of the COVID and my cancer. And I tell you what, I loved every minute because I never thought I would make it. And I've done it, you know what I mean? I was there. So my next target is now Christmas. And we'll start back about the 16th, 17th of December. And I'll do the Christmas as well. So I'm hanging in there. So far, so good. You know?
What about coming back to play with the legends? Are you a wee bit away yet?
I'm not taking a drop in wages for nobody, no.
Hey, we need you, Nizzy. We get beat 2-0 the last time out. Did you know that? Stan's got his playing. He doesn't realise that we're all into our mid-50s, and he's got his playing against guys in their mid-20s. He's trying to, I think he's trying to do us in.
I miss all that. I miss the Legends games. I miss the boys, everything like that. But unfortunately, at the time, I'm back and forward in hospital a lot at the moment. No, so.
And I tell you what, Biggie, and we miss you, and I think that's. I know we all enjoy a wee kick at the ball, but I think for me, the best bit is when we all get together. We can sit down and reminisce, have a couple of beers. You hear the stories coming out, and as they carry on, and that's what I love. I mean, sometimes the football gets in the way of a good night out, doesn't it?
The two that stick in my mind with yourself is it the Hong Kong one. I thought that was brilliant, and the game we done for Fernando at Melbourne. You heed at the ball and it went out for a shy, and Alec Ray being Alec Ray is normal, is moaning and shouting at you, mind.
That was fun.
And then you tried to put the ball out wide and you put it out again, and he shouts at you again, and then I just heard the noise coming for the back four. Oh, Alec Ray, I made mere appearances for Rangers. I made my appearances in Edinburgh Sheriff Court, and you did with Rangers. Shut up. And it just shut him up for the rest of the game.
Hey, Lizzie, you should tell the Barocca one about Hong Kong.
What was that for?
Remember the jacuzzi?
Oh, is that with Stan?
Aye. Crazy, wasn't it?
Oh, that was brilliant. Everybody on the bed all day, you know what I mean? And then we go to the sporting club, brilliant day, absolute scorching, stands in the jacuzzi, absolutely paralytic out his head. You know what I mean? and you put a Barocca in the jacuzzi, and the whole jacuzzi with orange, you know what I mean? So, Stan woke up thinking he pissed himself. You know what I mean?
Lizzie, are you in the waltzers or something? You keep moving about.
Yeah. Listen, Nizzy, can I tell the one with you in the taxi in Hong Kong?
Aye, you got to tell
the big one's in the taxi. The big one's in the taxi, and McCoist and wee Ian Durant's giving him a hard time. And he went, it's all right for you two. What about you, Coisty? He says, you're trainers, you get sponsored with Adidas. He says, and Durant, you get sponsored with Nike. He says, but see me, I get sponsored. What was it, with who?
Kangaroo.
I get sponsored with Kangaroo. He says, because every time I kick the ball, it come back to me. And he just spoke for 2 minutes. They went, that's a kangaroo. That's a boomerang, you heat case. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But listen, we need to try and get back here again and see you. I know I was there the last time with wee Charlie Miller and Graham Roberts and Falco, and the goalie went missing for a couple of days, remember? But it was great.
Do you want to know something, Stan? That trip you were over, and I was quiet. I was very quiet. I never went with you. That was the start of me getting cancer. You know that?
I know, mate. I knew there was something wrong, but I didn't think you were ill, pal. I thought there was something bothering you or whatever. You know what I mean? And obviously, we never asked, but
I'll tell you the funny story. I'll tell you the funny story when I was at Rangers, and I got called into the office. Ian McCall, and soon as says, right, I've accepted a bid for Dundee. You're going to Dundee to eat me and Ian McCall. So Ian McCall stood up and went, I'm not going to Dundee. Soon as went, you're going to Dundee. Ian McCall, I'm not going to Dundee. Soon as went, you're going to Dundee, right? You're definitely going to Dundee. I've accepted the bid. You're going to Dundee. And Ian McCall swore at Souness and then walked to the room, right? So I'm sitting there. I've never said a word, right? As soon as just turned his chair around to me, he went, you're going to Dundee. I went, I'm not going to Dundee. As soon as threw the Rothman football book at me, right? He went, pick a club you're leaving, right? And he threw it, and it came off my chest, right? And I went, well, what about Barcelona?
Brilliant. He didn't like that because he was too straight-laced, wasn't he?
Soon as got up and stormed out his own office and left me sitting in his own office. I'm phoning my ex-wife on his fucking phone. You know what I mean?
Oh, brilliant! Actually, I had a wee blather with him on Friday, Nizzy, and he's still the same. He's still got that aura about him, Fergie. He was talking about yourself, you know. And what he done was Ricky was at the do and on Friday night, and Jim White was comparing it, Nizzy, and he was great because I've interviewed him a couple of times, and I've only spoke about Rangers to him. But he went into Liverpool and Galatasaray then at the start of his career, and what he done was he brought Durant, Mark Haley, and Mark Walters on, and the three of them sat down, and I went, Durant is going to destroy him. And he stole the show. He just got up and he slaughtered Souness in a funny way. Do you know what I mean? And the tears were actually running down Souness's face. It was outstanding, you know. And the passion he has for Rangers still is brilliant, by the way. And he spoke about yourselves.
See the thing with Souness. Of course, we did respect him, but you got to remember we were fearless. I know. Although we did respect him, we didn't fear him. You know, and I know I'm making a joke here about him. You know, he got to a point and offered him a square go, but we weren't shy. You know, we didn't get intimidated back then. I can see how people, they get intimidated, and I get all that. But I think in a strange way, Souness liked that, Nizzy. He liked it, that we were like that.
Well,
there's an old Glasgow saying we were quite gallus, and we didn't fear anybody.
To be honest, Fergie, he picked on the homegrown players, and you know what I mean. He picked on you, he picked on me, he picked on Coisty. You know what I mean? the boys that one of his players, he picked on us. You know what I mean? And then I think, to me, like when he left Rangers, it was sort of like a weight off everybody's shoulders. Then Coisty shone after that. You know what I mean? Coisty. Under Walter Smith, Coisty was brilliant under Walter Smith. You know what I mean? He just, sadly, you're left by the time as well. You were off to Hearts at the time, no? As well.
I think as well, Nizzy, I mean, I'm not defending Graham, you know, but it's the standards that he set. You know, they were so high, and he wanted us to play a certain type of a certain brand of football, which I don't know if we were maybe it's wrong of me saying that we were capable of that, but maybe it was the standards. But
remember we played Aberdeen the last game of the season. And then they got a corner, and you headed the ball out. You headed the ball out, and Chris was shouted out, and we all ran out. Yeah, and the ball got played back in, and Graham Roberts got turned, and Aberdeen scored. Remember that game, the last game of the season?
No, but I can remember it now. You're telling me.
Brian Irvine.
Brian Irvine turned them, and that was it. And then that was it. And then after the game, Graham Roberts came in the change room. He was trying to blame everybody else, me, Jim and Nick, all the boys for running out. And Souness went, Robbo, you're to blame. And Robbo went, what do you mean? Am I blame? He says, look, I'm in the director's box. I'm watching it. Ball gets put in for a corner. Fergie clears it, headers it out. I can hear a shout for Chris Woods, everybody out from the director's box. And Souness went, can you swear on here, Stan? Yeah?
Just a wee bit.
And Souness went, Robbo, you fat bastard. You still in the ball. You got turned by Brian Irvine, right? And fucking the score. And all Graham Roberts said was, bollocks. So Souness turned around and went, well, bollocks in Scottish means you're calling me a wanker. And Robert just shrugged his shoulders, and Souness just went, tell you what, get your shower, get your boots, get to work, you'll never play for Rangers again. And that was the end of Graham Roberts. That was it.
Yeah,
that was it.
I think he'd be ruthless like that.
Oh, aye.
Souness just walked up to the mirror and fixed his tie and walked to the changing room. Oh.
But I must see what the two of you are saying there, right? I interviewed him the last time in Blackpool, right? And he tore me to ribbons, right? But justifiably, right? Because see, to be honest, see what you're talking about there. See, when I was interviewing him, Nizzy, he was looking straight at me. and he's watching for you making a mistake. And Durant was a hint of making faces. And I'm looking straight at him, and he's looking at me, and Durant's going, and doing all that, and right, and I just melted, right? And see, when I was talking to him on Friday night about it, he was laughing. He goes, "That was a great night," you know. I mean, I went, "Aye, for you, it was great for me." I said, because the full place was laughing because I started to ask him a load of crap, and I think definitely he's got that aura about him. I went to see him on Friday night, and one of the ones we Durant was talking about on Friday night, I thought was brilliant. You would have been there at training when he nutmegged them. Scotland v England when you used to do the training games. He said, and I nutmegged them. He said, and 2 minutes later, he went right through me. He says, and I was lying in the ground. He says, the ball off him. He said, and it was like, he said, I was like a weeble wobble. He said, I went down and I bounced back up, and I went, is that your best? He said, and the next thing he just went bang and cracked me. And he says, and I went down. He says, and I kind of was dazed, and I looked, and I went, I'm not getting back up. He's going to hit me again.
No, we were on to it.
And that's what he said. He said, no, what he said, everybody was off fighting, right? And he said, Jimmy Nichols fighting with somebody, Coisty's into somebody else, you're fighting with somebody else. He said, it was Scotland v England. He said, they were all killing each other. He said, and I get back to the dressing room, and he said, I've got a black eye. He said, I was sitting in the dressing room, and everybody's come in, he says, and Graham Roberts has got his horn in a bucket with ice, and somebody else has got a patch on their eye. He said, as soon as came in the door, and I went, that's what I'm looking for. That was absolutely brilliant. Let's go. Let's carry this on through the season. He said, the next day we get beat 3-2 with Dundee United.
That sort of thing happened. Yeah, that's it. They were competitive. They were feisty, weren't they? We used to beat England all the time. I mean, most of the time, but he wanted to keep playing and playing. Sometimes you'll get a big game. You're talking about that game. Lynsey, that should have been like a 15-minute game. We probably played for about an hour and 15 minutes until England get their noses in front.
But somebody on a Friday morning before a game on a Saturday, some of the tackles were going in were unbelievable. You know what I mean? It was brilliant. Absolutely great training sessions. No, absolutely brilliant. No, but Fergie, should have took me up on that square goal. No,
the thing was, I think you were looking to me to back you up. I was like,
I've got someone here for these boys. Listen, everybody that's listening, and get some questions in here. I've got a book here, 10 matches, 10 players, and it's like 10 favourite games that 10 of our Rangers legends played in. It's the boy Stuart that I done the book with, and it's the 4 words with Fernando Rickson. And you've got Derek Johnson, his best game, Mully Johnson, Big Tam Forsyth, God rest him, Alan McDonald, Wee Durant, Andy Gorham, John Brown, Barry Ferguson, Marvin Andrews, and me Nacho. And they've picked their 10 best games. The book was done in my boozer, and it's a great book. So get some questions in for Derek and Nizzy, and we'll pick the best question, and the book will get sent away to him. But we've got some here now. Big Nizzy was great company at Sutton. Barry Gilmer, first time listener, he's enjoying it. Who else we go? How's things, Stan? Hope you're doing all right. There's somebody, Jimmy Reid watching from Sinra. James McConnell there, one of the Jersey boys. Big James.
Aye.
The Jersey, Big James is on there. Brilliant. Where do we go? We've got Colin Payton. He's watching for Lanzarote in the Ibrox Bar. Him and Big D's are there now. Big Davey Cat, yeah, the boys are there now. Aye, so we'll need to give that a wee visit soon. Then we'll go and see Big Nizzy. He's only 20 minutes away.
Listen, right, and we keep saying, and I keep going like that, we need to go out to Lanzarote. Let's do this. Let's get out to see the big fella.
Aye, definitely.
We need to do that. Because I do miss you, big fella, you know, and what you've been through, you know, and do you know something? You never change. What you probably, people be mumping and moaning and feeling sorry for themselves, but no, it's just typical you, isn't it? You're just full of life, full of beans, and you still get the bloody tan. Look at him. That's what I love about you, Nizzy, because you don't change for anybody. You know, you'd be the same if you met a wee guy in the street or where you met the Queen. You don't change. I like that. That's what I love about you.
You're still smoking. You still having a wee fag now again.
Stan, never smoked in my life, no.
You need to go in the funny fags.
We got another one here, and it's Alec Kelly, and he's asking the two of yous, What did you think of Goldson's comments? What do you think of his comments saying that we were 3-1 down and that the dressing room didn't think they were going to come back?
And that's the worrying thing, because I think he was speaking for the dressing room. I think he was maybe too honest, for want of a better phrase, because sometimes when you're put in front of the media, and the disappointments in your mind, and he's blotted out what he probably was feeling. It was incredible to hear that 3-1 down, the game's done and dusted. Not at all. What it takes is one goal back, early doors in the second half, and you can go on and win that. So that showed you a wee bit of the mentality that's maybe been in that dressing room. So that's why the new manager's in place. So it's not just about what we see on the park, it's about how he gets that message across to the guys that when you play for Rangers, you're never beat.
I was just going to say that.
You're never beat. And it's knowing your kind of mentality, even that enters your mind. But all you need to do, and what we used to do, and I don't know if I'm going to speak for Lynsey in this, I used to sit and look round about me and who was sitting next to me, who was round about that dressing room, and I think, whether we were 2-0 down, whether it would be 3-0 down, I always thought, we can get this back. We've got the players. We just need to hang in there, stay in there. So, it was... the comments were poor. So listen, I think it's not just a collective thing, Lynsey. I think after that game, you always ask yourself one question after a game: did you give everything? And I think at the end of that game at Hampden, I don't think there's any of the boys could have said that we gave everything, because it didn't. And that's a given. When you play for Rangers, certainly, and we know, because Lynsey was saying it, when you're the homegrown boys, we feel it, and we give everything. But it was disappointing.
I don't know if you read it or no, but I read Richard Goff's comments on it after the game. I don't know if you read it earlier, Lynsey, but one of the things that stuck out with me, what he said, why was Tavernier the guy that was speaking after the game? He says, if we didn't have a great result when Walter Smith was there, he said the first thing that would happen is Walter Smith would say, "You're the captain. You get out there in front of the media and tell them why they didn't perform." He says, because the thing is, when I put you on the park, I've got you set to do something. See if it doesn't work, something's went wrong on the park. You're the captain. You get out there. And I thought that was quite a good question he was asking, because why did the captain know? That's that question.
They're a different breed. I don't know. But you see, in a dressing room, it's sometimes it's not just about what the manager, the coaches are saying. Sometimes the players should be digging each other out. Don't be scared to fall out with people. That's what we used to do. We fell out with each other. We'd get into fisticuffs. But then that was it. It was done and dusted. So I think they've got to get that. I think that's why it's a different era. Players are different in this day and age. They don't want to fall out with each other. In case, whatever relationship they've got, it might dent that. No, fall out with each other. Day in, day out. The family. And that's it.
But what do you think, Lynsey, we've been a centre half then, with what you said there and what you're watching there at the back? I mean, last season, I think up to the now, I think we'd lost 13 goals at this stage of the season. And we've done, I don't know how many it is, but we've done maybe about double that, right? So,
last season we hardly conceded a goal, but this season we concede the first goal all the time, and then we chase again. You know what I mean? We're chasing them, and then we're chasing again. That Hampden, the first half was terrible. It was absolutely, it was hard to watch, really hard to watch. But and then the following game we played brilliant, and then we played the other night there at Livingston. We done well again. Just that mentality at Hampden, it was such a terrible performance. But about 9, I would say 9 of the players were really poor that day. Really poor that day.
Lynsey, I just think it's a case that the players maybe get a wee bit ahead of themselves. Think they just need to turn up, and also losing that wee bit of focus. And you can't, as a defender, when you're playing for Rangers, a lot of the times, you're in possession of the ball, so you've got to be really switched on, mentally. Look at McGregor yesterday. McGregor being the keeper that he is. You know, it's not just how brilliant he is; it's that focus. He keeps switched on, and when we need him, that's how he produces the big saves.
We've got a good one here, Nizzy, and it's
we got bullied. We got bullied at Hampden. Hibs bullied us. The back four got bullied, but absolutely bullied. You know what I mean? So
I've got a good one here. There's an old school pal of mine there, Nizzy, and he's saying, "What's the best goal you've ever scored for Rangers?" And listen, I know you had that smashing volley against Bruges, but did you have any better volleys than that one?
Oh, I'll tell you what. No, to be honest with you, the one against Bruges, when I hit it, honestly, when I looked up and I saw the ball headed towards goals, and I actually thought it was headed towards goals. When I looked up, I think the ball was headed towards Hart Hill. To be honest with you, that's it.
You meant it.
I mean it. That was it. That was years of training in it. That was years of training in the Albion.
And did you go out and put the grass down for that bit there?
I must have put all the dries packed in the pitch that night, no?
I've got another one for young Gavin McMullen. Would you offer Davis and Al McGregor another year, Fergie?
I would like to see Davis in a coaching capacity as well. You know, that experience that the two of them have got, why not? And again, players, certainly McGregor, goalies, you know, they can play into their 40s. Davis, still fit as a fiddle, still got a role to play. Maybe over the course of the next year and a half, he might not play as much, but just to have him about. So even in that respect, I would give him another, because the younger ones, or even the players that come to the club, they'll look at him and they'll go, what an example he is. So, and I bet you he sets the standards in training, day in, day out. So it's not sometimes just what they're doing on the park, it's what they give you off the park as well.
What about his international career? If you were Gio Van Bronckhorst just now, would you maybe ask him to give up his international?
No, absolutely not, because he's proud to play for Northern Ireland. You know, you can see that in him. So, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't think Steve Davis, over the course of the next year, 2 years, he might not play as much football. But if that opportunity comes up to go play with Northern Ireland, I don't think you can deny him that.
Right. What about yourself, Nizzy?
I've loved the two of them still at Rangers. Exactly the same as what Fergie says. Another year, and then maybe coaching and bringing on the young players as well, because the experience they've got is phenomenal. You know what I mean? So I think I'd love to see them, two of them staying at Rangers. No leave Rangers.
I've got another one here for Bim McSkimmins, and they said, ask Fergie if he thinks him and Durante how they would do in the Rangers team just now.
Oh, well, Durante could play in any team, put it that way. You know, he was that talented. And it's well documented before that horrendous injury that he got, that he was a box-to-box midfield player, you know, the runs that he made. And I think we saw a couple of goals yesterday, you know, the one that Arfield scores. That's pretty much the type of run that Durante used to make all the time. Aribo as well, getting first. So, and then obviously when he had that injury, Durante, he became the sitting player.
He kind of developed into a different player, didn't he?
Aye. I just like that, and what you're kind of maybe touching on is like, I think it's good that you've still got the kind of the Scottish, like Arfield yesterday. You can see how much it means to him. He's a Rangers man. It's oozing out him. You know, away celebrating with the fans, we salute and all that. I think the Rangers are homegrown. I think you get more out of them, and I think we always need that kind of sprinkle, the types of guys. So, answer your question, how would we go on? I'd love to be in a team that's like dominates possession and plays in front of that Foley. How can that not get you up for it?
Oh, true, innit?
Something, is he? Sorry.
But Fergie, you were one of the best young players, midfield players to come through Rangers, by far. You shone by far. You read the game. You passed the game. No, you talked to everybody. You stood out at midfield. You stood out when you came through. Rangers, you stood out as a young man. You stood well out, miles ahead of everybody else. It was just
The checks in
unfortunate.
the post.
I agree with you, but
As I say earlier on, Souness had a problem with the homegrown players. Know what I mean? And he wasn't happy with the homegrown players.
Sometimes it was justified. And listen, I love telling this story with me and the one day and Vigilante day after dinner stuff, right? And Tricia said to me the night, promise me you'll tell that story on the podcast. And it's the one with the kebab shop, Nizzy. For the viewers who's not heard the story, fantastic. Everybody remembers when Fergie and Vigilante, the two of them get lifted at the kebab shop in East Kilbride for fighting with Celtic supporters. So the Pig Polish gets the two of them in the back of the Polish van. She went, look lads, I'm a big Rangers man myself. I know who yous are. He said, but I've got to get through this and ask yous everything. He says, name. So Ian Durant says, Ian Durant. He said, occupation. He says, Glasgow Rangers Football Club. He says, and where do you live? And Ian Durant says, no fixed abode. He went, oh, I've got a smart arse here. So he gets to Fergie. Name, Derek Ferguson. Occupation, Glasgow Rangers Football Club. And where do you live? And he said, the flat above him.
Hey, by the way, Nizzy, see the thing is when we get put in the back of the police, what would you call it, van or whatever it was, meat wagon as they call it. By the way, it's only 5 minutes to Govan police station. It took us half an hour to get there. The guy, why? We were driving about doing Cannon Park and all that. The guy said, the police were singing songs and all that. We was in the back of the van singing the Rangers song for about half an hour. I absolutely loved it. We're battering the thing. We had a great time. Something Souness saw like that,
Brilliant.
I got lifted in Edinburgh, right? There's a true story. I got lifted in Edinburgh for fighting, right? So the police have all come, and I get huckled in the back of the van. Right? So I'm in the back of the van, and then next time a female a WPC walks in the van, right? She comes into the van as well. On the slept there the month before,
Brilliant,
I'm handcuffed to the girl that I slept there a month before.
Yeah, dirty man, you.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to welcome Lynsey onto the show. She get held up, but listen, it was horrendous here.
Oh, absolutely horrendous.
Mayhem.
Oh, bonkers, by the way.
Right, so we've changed the script a wee bit.
Oh, I noticed. I was watching it for the car.
You are going to be singing.
No, I'm not singing. No.
These are a wee song.
No, this is a wee change for me doing stuff like this. This is away from my singing. Oh, this is a wee hobby for me.
I thought a wee song would have been lovely.
Aye, no. You're out of luck.
What we'll do, Lynsey, is if you take up one of the questions we're talking.
Aye, I kind of had a wee nosy at some of them on the YouTube.
Oh, good.
So I did. So I was kind of trying to watch for a while. I was stop, start. But
and this is Lynsey Glen. Lynsey does the podcast with, but she's normally singing.
Hiya, how you doing?
Not bad yourself?
Yeah, all right. Stressed out with that traffic out there.
We've had some questions, some good ones. There's
Durant, can I was going to say that. Nizzy, is Gordon Dury still out there? Is he still waiting in that bus? He was trying to get a bus to Uddingston for Lanzarote.
Aye, when we done the tournament, aye.
We were doing the tournament with a wee night out. I passed Dukey, Gordon Dury, and I said to him, where are you going? He says, I'm going home. I was going, where? Uddingston. Trying to get to Uddingston for Lanzarote in a bus. So.
we done the tournament in Lynsey, right? We done that tournament and Big Nizzy organised it in Lanzarote, so it was 4 teams.
Right.
I took her an England select and a Rangers Legends team, and then there were 2 local teams. Nizzy's pub played against us, and it was a lot of kind of young boys, wasn't it? For somewhere in Ireland, and they kind of took it kind of serious. But the night before and the Friday night, we had a wee swally on the flight, didn't we?
Yes.
So we get to the Big Nizzy's pal's pub, and he introduced me to him. How you doing? I says, brand new. He says, look, Rangers don't pay for nothing tonight. When you go to the bar, just say Rangers. But the guy doesn't know that Hoffy Blanter's there. We were like that. All the boys for the pubs are there. Right? So I haven't done this. He just go to the bar and say Rangers. So when I met Carol the next day, I said, everything all right last night? He said, everything all right. He says, Glasgow Rangers spent 1,400 euros. He says, behind the bar. He said, that's no happening tonight, right? And I went, no problem. So it was a big dinner at night, wasn't it? Well, not a dinner, but a bite to eat and like a kind of a big night it was on. And we went to that, and what he decided to do was he gave us things round my neck, Rangers legends on it. So we got up to the bar, he showed that, and he got a drink. And I'm not kidding, I think it was about an hour into the gig, and I went up to the bar for a drink, and there were two lasses at the bar with them on. You want a drink, Stan?
He gave them away.
I just gave them away. But that was some trip, wasn't it? Mind we stopped. The Motherwell Rangers game was on, and they stopped the tournament to watch the Rangers game.
And we had a few beers.
And won the tournament.
That's it. Big Marv, I think they were upset with Big Marv.
I mean, they stood in the
boys' head. Aye. Not intentionally. No, intentionally. Just Big Marv. He was booting them up and doing the part.
That size compared. They were just when he went on one of them mad runs.
I mean, he's like a heavyweight boxer, isn't he, Big Marv?
Hey, Willie Black, I don't know if you've done this one. New manager in, should they change the captain? What do you think on that one?
Oh, I mean, listen, you're saying none, is it? But do you know something? I'd like to see the boy Patterson in the side of. I still watch Tavernier, and he's still. Listen, going forward, there's no doubt. I mean, he's got assists yesterday, but I just still see him making the same mistakes, Lynsey. And I just think if you put Patterson in at the now, will he make mistakes? Of course he will, but I think he's at that age, he'll learn from them. Yeah. And I like the boy Patterson, and I don't think we can hold him back any longer. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it'd be a hard decision. You go for Patterson or Tavernier. A lot of people are saying, can you get the two of them in? The formation, I think he can, but I think certainly Tavernier maybe a wee bit further up because his deliveries are second to none. But I know, but there is question marks because of what happened after the. I think that's why that question's been posed because after the Stan touched on it, you expect your cat lead by example after the game.
With Patterson, right? If I agree, he needs to be playing. If you don't play him, then we're going to lose him. Because somebody else will come in.
That's my fear.
He needs game time, doesn't he?
He needs game time now. He's at the age now. He's playing for Scotland now. He's got the experience now. He needs matches now. So if we don't play him, other teams will come in and take him. No. So
I hope we can get maybe the two of them in the side. Listen, it doesn't matter. We get behind our players. Whether there's a different. Going to be a different captain. I don't think it will. He'll not change it. You don't need to change too much. Mm-hmm. You know, it just needs to get a performance of some of them up a wee bit, and you can actually see that he's tweaked one or two wee things. I think watching the game the other day, because Morelos tends to come towards the ball for me too much. Mm-hmm. I like to see him, he's far too much. But I think what Van Bronckhorst has done well is he's gave a wee bit more licence to watch Arfield yesterday gets a goal, and Aribo. You know, they're making the forward runs, and that's what we need. I'd like somebody to get a grip of Alfredo and just say, listen, you need to be around that 18-yard box. I don't want you wide in the build-up. We've got plenty of players, run about them that can do that. Get between the sticks.
I think he done that on Thursday night in Europe. He stayed more about the box.
And that's where he gets his goal. I mean, the guy makes a horrendous pass across, but that's where you want your centre forward.
No, I agree with you. And one thing with me, with Tav, it's documented. I'm not a lover of him. But he's a Rangers player.
But you back him, of course, exactly, and that's what you've got to do.
But one of the things I will say that done it for me was if you look back, Nizzy, to the Rangers and the cup final against Celtic, now, we battered them and we get beat 1-0, but we got a penalty, and he's our captain and our penalty taker, and he gave the ball to Morelos. Now, see if that was any use captain in the team, or your John Greggs or Richard Goffs or anybody that were captain, even your Barry, you would take the responsibility, Nizzy. You would take the ball and say, if I miss it, I'm the captain. Mm-hmm. I'm taking the responsibility for that. And for him to give the ball away that day, it done it for me. I went, that's no captain material. Do you agree with me there? Or
Well,
do you think there were
the
maybe
only
other
thing,
circumstances?
listen, if somebody feels the pressure and they're not confident in taking it, go to somebody else. That's all I would say, because most of the times the penalty takers, their guys have got that belief that they know as you put that ball down, they're going to put it in the back of the net. So maybe he felt at that time, if you don't feel confident, then I know what you're thinking, it's like passing the buck, but
I think as a captain, I think he should have been the guy that took the responsibility as a captain. Getting back to what I said with Goff, saying that he went out and spoke when they get a defeat. No, the vice captain.
And in your time with Big Teddy Butcher as well, you know, they guys lead by example. And
correct.
They put fear into you. So they did. The Goff, the Butchers. So they did. So,
Lindsay, who did you enjoy playing at the back with in your time? You had a lot of good centre halves here, didn't you? Bomber for one, and Butcher, and all the guys. And
Bomber and Goffey were brilliant. You know what I mean? Absolutely. No. And see if you done something wrong with Bomber. Bomber would let you know right away. No. He's the way Bomber just, and Goffey, the way they spoke, it was just brilliant. No, it was always Bomber and Goffey. I loved it. The goalie at the back as well. How good the goalie was at talking as well, because the goalie was like a fifth defender, because you could see the whole game. He was absolutely brand new. He used to shout, Nizzy, he's going to your right, he's going to your left, Goffey, pass him to Nizzy. The goalie was superb.
That's
a great point, Nizzy, you're bringing up about the goalie, you know, because it's not just about saves, there you go. It's about the communication. It's about helping each other, isn't it?
You've noticed that before yourself with McGregor just now. But you see McGregor sometimes going away out by his 18-year and shouting to people.
Keep them on their toes.
Exactly.
And sometimes, I spoke about it earlier, Lindsay, it's about keeping that focus. So if it has to come for the keeper to keep when somebody's on the get somebody on their toes. That's what you've got to do. That's what you have.
Aye. Just a wee quick one here. We were meant to have one of our sponsors.
The keeper can see the whole game. He's facing that way. He sees everything. You know what I mean? So he could see the forwards running to the left and to the right, and his communication was, the goalie's communication was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Just a wee quick one when we're on. It's one of our sponsors is meant to come on tonight. I don't know if you know Bill McElvoy. No, unfortunately he's destined for COVID, which happens quite a lot just now. But
he's all right.
He was meant to be coming on tonight, but we'll get him back on the show again. So I've got a wee bit here for one of our other sponsors, and it's up your area. And he says your Barry uses his shop, so he's wanting you to use it. You're a Latco man now. I see you've joined the Latco.
Tell everybody where I live now.
I see you've joined the Latco Purple Heroes, so I hope you're getting all right with that.
Tell you what, it's a great wee tune.
Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. But you bought it No. You bought it any pubs yet?
Absolutely not. I've been made more than welcome.
You better believe you will. Aye. So, it's Country Carpets in Lanark.
Right.
It's a big boy. He sits beside me in Thornton Suite, and he's one of our sponsors. It's a family-run business.
Did you see Barry goes in there?
Barry gets his carpets and that off him and his laminated stuff. He'll give you a good discount, he said.
Oh, neat, yeah, because Barry's got a few bob, hasn't he?
Well, I said to me, look after you, so you're all right. So it's Graham Gracie, and he's a big Rangers man, and as I say, he's in the, I'll introduce you to him, and he deals with all types of carpets, and he's got some good deals for Christmas. Well, I think he could maybe help you there, and it's next to Lanark Lock.
Right.
And he's a Latco man. He drinks with Aki, and he's got his...
In the tavern?
Aye, and he's got his... he's cracking, he's got his big Rangers man hut out the back type of thing with the back kegs of beer and all that in it. So I'll get you an invite down, wee man. But that's one of our sponsors, and if you're in about that area, any listeners or so, and get your carpets up there, because he's a big blue nose, and that's what it's all about on here, helping each other. Another one I know was a young man I met today, and he's going to do a wee bit for us when we do the Legends games. He does Rangers kits and stuff.
Right.
Marco McIntyre, and it's a kit centre, and he actually does the Rangers youth team and all that. So, and he does polo shirts and t-shirts. So if any of the football clubs here are looking to get t-shirts printed or anything like that, get in contact with him. I've got his website. It's marco@theticketcentre.com. So anybody looking for that, just get involved.
I take it you asked that question, Stan.
What was that?
No, I did not.
No.
If you want to fire
I
away
would,
on
because I feel as if I've missed some, so I'll just ask, right? Because that's the one that I wanted to ask anyway,
Okay.
right? Right, Derek. So, how chuffed is your dad? He had 2 sons that played for Glasgow Rangers, and his grandson started at Rangers and now plays at Aberdeen and is a Scottish international. How proud?
Oh, listen, the one thing I remember about my dad is when I said earlier, when I signed my first contract at Rangers, it was just the look in my dad's face, you know, coming down the marble stairs. You know, I could just look at him. That was probably, my dad, by all accounts, was a good football player. The best in the family, according to him. But I've spoke to people and he says he was talented, but I think he broke his leg at 19. Then he met my ma, and then that was it. It was history once he'd met my ma. But so probably that's where we get working our footballing ability from my dad. And he loves the game. He's pretty knowledgeable, but it was kind of tough love. Certainly with me, I kind of changed his mindset a wee bit with Barry, because I always I like to give a wee bit of praise, and I've got 3 boys of mine. You've just mentioned Lewis. He does well. I tell him he's done well. If he's not done well, I tell him he's not done well. But when I done well, I never get praised. When I was younger, it was silence. And if I didn't play well, then I was never shouted at, never bawled at. Same with Barry, but he would talk to you, you know, and try and, you know, give you a help in terms of you should maybe have done this or done that. So the difference was we spoke to Barry, but when he done well, we told him he done well, because it's nice to get a wee pat in the back, isn't it?
Of course it is.
So and it's changed days. I don't know, was that the same with you, Nizzy? Did you have that kind of when you played?
Yeah, I got when I used to, like, when I thought I'd done well. Yeah, I used to buy the Sunday Mail. If I got a 7, I was all right. You know what I mean?
So he's chuffed that he's.
But you made your first team debut as well at 15, didn't you? Is that not like a?
We spoke a wee bit about it.
You spoke about that, because I wanted to know how you felt about that, and I missed it obviously because I was in the car. So I'll need to watch it back.
Big Cam's testimonial. And John Gregg, as I said to Stan earlier, I've got a lot to thank John Gregg for.
Right.
You know, he gave me more opportunity. You know, and maybe
we've got our wee Christmas Day in the Stonefield Tavern in the 23rd, and I was laughing there because obviously we could on the show, but remember in the pub and they were all singing. Could you tell everybody about that? Nizzy will know that story.
What's that one? Yeah. No, we're not going to go with that one. We'll keep that. It gets kept. That's my special wee story.
I can't do that.
I know. I'm going to leave you hanging on the fence with that one. No, but I tell you what, Stan, it's like we go down to Blackpool, the Gallant Pioneer. You've been there. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah,
magic. Your pub as well, and I mean, where I'm staying out in Larkhall, there's a few nice wee kind of pubs up and down that main street. You know.
Well, I'm not wanting to upset you and Nizzy, but I'm well, no Nizzy. Nizzy's sitting in the sun and new anyway. But I'm going to Benidorm on Friday.
I know you. I certainly. Ricky told me earlier.
Lynsey, we're going to sort out.
Your missus put up with you. You're never in the house.
It's work related.
It's work. You can't call that work. Come on.
I'm not really wanting to go.
So what you got to Benidorm for? Tell us.
Well, the ERSA's next year. I think it's the 22nd of September. And ERSA's, if you don't know, it's the European Rangers Supporters Association. And what they're doing is that they're going to put a golf day on. It's a big convention. They're going to have a big dinner. A wine tasting day. I think the goalie's going to
a wine tasting day.
And I think they're looking maybe even a boat trip too. And they're talking about a Legends game.
You're not going to take us out in a boat.
Yeah, no, well, they're talking about a Legends game. So I think that's the kind of main thing that they want me to go for, just to see what players we're going to bring over and
how come it takes you Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to discuss that?
But they're not.
You know, do it a Zoom call.
Listen, I've had this half of Chris.
I tell you what,
listen,
Chris puts up with a lot.
You could come over here, Fergie. You come over to Lanzarote. It's hot. It's hotter over here, mate. You know what I mean?
Do you know, Nizzy? That's what I said earlier. We're going to sort something out. I want to come here and see you. Just be in your company. have a couple of wee beers and just chill out. It's nice to kind of reminisce and that. And as I said, that's what I was saying earlier. I don't know if you heard that. You know, I've known you since what 10 and a half, 11-year-old.
11-year-old, Fergie, me and you, yeah. Oh.
Aye. That's what, because a lot of people think I didn't get to know Durante till I was 16, but I've known you probably the longest. And that's, you're still the same. What age are you now? You're same, 54, 55?
54, Fergie.
54. Aye, we're just youngsters, aren't we?
That's it.
And you've got a better tan than me.
I'm like a fine wine. I get better as I get older. You know what I mean?
Have we got any more questions here, Lindsay?
No, but I've got a good wee couple of gigs coming up this weekend, which is quite good. I'm in the Cocoa Bean Factory on Friday night with Chris Boyd and Ian Durant.
What's that?
The chocolate factory in Dumfries.
Chocolate?
Oh,
massive,
massive marquee. By the way, it's beautiful. It's out of this world, so it is like an outdoor marquee and everything. So I've got that on Friday night, and then Saturday I've got my favourite, the Nith Valley Loyal Rangers Supporters Club
brilliant.
Christmas party on Saturday night.
Excellent.
So
Great boys.
looking forward to that. I get to chill out a wee bit at that one and all. So aye, right, this weekend will be quite good.
No, tell them I'm always asking for them.
I will.
They're brilliant. They come up to the pub. Well, they'll not be up for a while. They used to come up when Rangers played Accies, and they used to have the no-go loyal, and they would come up in the minibus for away games, no-go. So they would come up to my pub and just sit there till the game was finished, and then they would go back down to Nith Valley, which was brilliant. I think, was it the Deer Hunter?
It used to be the Deer Hunter. The Deer Hunter closed down a few years ago now, so they have it in the Nithsdale football club, the Nithsdale Wanderers, football club in there.
Boy Billy McLeod and that great guys.
Well, before we get to the weekend, we've got a big game.
Aye, definitely.
There's a wee bit of, I'm going to use the word revenge.
Aye.
You know, so hopefully the boys, they'll be annoyed. They'll have their tails up.
I think so.
Nizzy, you said it earlier. The Bullies earlier on in that game at Hampden. So it's a case of win the battle first and then go and play. So after a wee bit of revenge and a good result Wednesday, and then we can kick on to the weekend.
Aye, definitely.
I've got a couple of other ones there, Lindsay. We've got Gavin McMullen. Has Bassey done enough to keep his place ahead of a fit Balogun and Helander?
Well, I think he's what was it the game he came in? He was man of the match. Was it a European game? And
it was outstanding.
Aye, and I thought he played well yesterday.
Aye, he done well yesterday.
Do you like him, Nizzy?
Like Shirley. Can you hear us?
I think the big
he's
on the sunbed.
I see. By the way, he's been, and tell you what, he's come in. No, he's a fullback. He's a good athlete, but he doesn't look out of place, and he doesn't deserve to be dropped. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unfortunate. Sometimes people pick up injuries. If you get your opportunity, he's took it. I would stick with Big Bassey, didn't I?
And you've got young Stuart Duncan there. Al McGregor should be our captain. And then there's another one there, Lindsay. When you come into Garver,
you're still waiting on that answer.
Yes, I'm up. Listen, I'll get her to come out, Ryan. Don't worry about it, son. I want another trip here, so she's going.
So have you got a favourite question? Because obviously I've missed half the show.
See, on this, the captaincy thing.
Aye.
Listen, don't change too much. I know we've all got different opinions and things, so we don't need to be rocking the boat in that dressing room at the minute. Tav's the captain, right? And we've all we're obviously certain things that we want to nitpick about. I would just leave it there now, because he's got it, the armband and name. But you look in the dressing room, McGregor will probably shut up guys anyway. As he just spoke about, about what the goalie used to do, keep people on his toes. We can see McGregor's doing that. So we've got other guys there, even Kamara. People lead the example. He goes about his business in a quiet fashion. So I wouldn't because I worry about that dressing room. You need to keep them together. You need to keep that togetherness. Once you start saying, all right, you're going to take the captaincy off, you get somebody else. It's no the time and the place. No. That's at the end.
He's got to give them a chance to work under him as well.
I'm just sitting here thinking about it. I would just leave it, let it go to the end of the season. Then if a decision needs to be made. But the one thing I would like to see is young boy Patterson back. Into that side.
Would you look to bring anybody in at the transfer window in January?
Always, if you can get a wee nugget, I would certainly. I've always said it in the forward areas. I'd like to see if we get another centre forward in. Sakala comes on. What I love about him, what about his attitude? He's not sitting on the bench spitting a dummy. He comes on,
Does his job.
brilliant goal, but he does it with a smile on his face. Nerve about him, you know, the way he was going about. So I wouldn't mind another centre forward coming in. Sometimes we nugget down in that championship down in England, you know, against about the contacts. Can we get some?
Just give you another dimension up there, because we've not played with a Mark Hateley for a long time, and we know we've
there's nothing wrong with
Mark Hateley, ain't we? No, really.
Nah.
You know, and on Morelos, the way he's going to play at the minute, you know, with Morelos, he's got to be a focal point. Morelos just for me just drifts a wee bit too much, and I just was saying, if you get, I like my centre forward to be, you know, between the sticks, you know, so that you can find them. Well, a player that can maybe hold it and bring people into play.
That was a thing that they spoke about on Friday night, Soonest, and Mark was asked Mark Hateley, and they were talking about Mo Johnson when he came. But Mark said, I was always going to be the centre forward. He said it was either going to be Morris or it was either going to be Coisty. It wasn't going to be they two. He says, because I was going to win headers down for they two, and that's the way Soonest wanted to play. He said it was never going to be they two. He said, a lot of the fans at the start didn't like that. They wanted to see the two of them, but they were too similar. He says, but I preferred to play with Coisty. He says, because Coisty knew to play off of me. He says, and Mo Johnson liked to drift outside the box and away. He says, so sometimes if I won a ball, he wasn't there. He says, so that's how I preferred it with Coisty.
Coisty was clever. Coisty was very clever. He's good at reading the game. And I get what you're saying about Mo. He loved to run the channels, not so much Coisty. Coisty knew that if I was on about Hateley, you know, he'd get that wee ball laid after him, you know, and strike it goal. That's the area I would like another centre forward in.
Right, pick your question. What's been your favourite question for the night?
My favourite question? I can't even remember.
I know, that's what I'm saying, because I
kind of... My favourite question is about... for the guys.
Aye.
Right. Probably it's going to create a lot of debate. Probably the one on the captaincy, because I've been sitting here the last 10-15 minutes.
Young Stuart.
I've been thinking about it, you know, and you could see, it would be great to give the captaincy to McGregor, give to somebody else, but no, don't rock the boat. Just leave it the way it is. But it is a good question.
Who was it again? Willie Black, was it not? No, that wasn't. That was changed. Aye, it was. Should the manager change the captain? It was Willie Black.
So it was.
Willie Black, right?
I know Willie Black.
You're the winner.
He owes me a pint.
10 matches, 10 players. So Willie, get in contact with your details and we'll get that posted out.
Sorry, I'll see you at the weekend.
Will you? I'll let you go. You can take it then. I've already got one I need to post.
So
aye, that's us. So apologies for my late coming, fellas.
Not at all.
Sorry, I hope it's not the same going back to me.
I know.
By the way, thanks for asking me to come in.
No, thanks.
It's great to great to see Nizzy. You know, love to see him. And
brilliant. And I think we will do that. I think we'll go out.
I'm going to go out.
We'll get even if it's a long weekend.
I just need to get, no, like you, I need to get a wee bit of permission. I need to get permission from my missus. You don't. You just take off.
Now, come on. Trish is watching that.
Well, hey, tell you what, you put up with a lot.
And listen, I'll need to once again say, hiya, Jack, on here.
I know.
My grandson. The wee grandson.
I'll need to show you on my phone.
Where is he?
He's only 4.
Right, so he's got the ball, he's out playing.
And that's it. I hope he is listening, right?
All right, he will be.
Two Wednesdays ago, I never tell you this, right? Two Wednesdays ago, I said hello and he got all excited and he shit his pants.
Oh, right, did he?
He was that excited, right? He did. And Nicola took him up the stair to the toilet and he went, Mum, I can't believe it. I'm 4-year-old and I've shit myself.
Oh. Is that what you said?
So, Jack, don't shit yourself this time. You're okay.
Right, well, that's a nice way to end the show, Stan.
But chuffed again.
Right. Okay. So thanks once again for joining us here tonight on Follow We Will Legends podcast. It's been a pleasure as always. We look forward to seeing you all tune in again on Monday the 13th of December with more amazing surprise guests joining us, and details will be up and posted near the time. A huge thank you to our guests this evening, Derek and Nizzy, that was on. I kind of missed Nizzy coming in, so thanks very much for coming on, guys. It's been a privilege and a pleasure listening to you, and I will listen back to the beginning of the show as well. Also, thanks to Ricky again for stepping in and working behind the scenes and on scene as well for me tonight. So thanks very much for all your help, Ricky. If you've enjoyed the show tonight, please get involved by subscribing to our YouTube channel, liking our Twitter, Facebook and Instagram pages. Follow We Will Legends podcast. On behalf of Stan, Gordon and myself here at Follow We Will, good night and God bless.